Hey everyone, it's Kevin with Rise Collaborative. We're here with Seth Piccirillo. He is going to be running for the Democratic primary for mayor of Niagara Falls in September of 2019. He's kicked off his campaign early, and as a younger guy running for political office, we wanted to talk to him with Rise to talk about politics in general, Niagara Falls in general. And just starting there, Niagara Falls is a city with a big list of things that need some work, some improvement, but you also have a little bit of momentum going. It can be really overwhelming to take all that on at once. For a lot of people, it's been so overwhelming that they've packed up and moved out of town. You've decided to stay, raise a family here, and you've also decided to get involved in the politics, which is a huge, huge ordeal. What motivates you to move past that apathy for the situation at hand and try to make things better all around you, even if it doesn't affect you personally?
Well, I think first of all, saying that the decisions of the past weren't good enough, that past generations of leadership got us into a tough situation. So it is overwhelming. And people think of the Falls as this destination, but it's also a series of neighborhoods. So if you take all of our challenges and go neighborhood by neighborhood, talk to those people about what they want, it becomes more of an overwhelming feeling and more of a list of things that we need to get done by actually listening to people who live there. And that's not just a slogan. Talk to the people in the neighborhoods, let them participate in budgeting directly, and come up with a list that you can say, we're not just talking about it, we are running to do something and not to be something. And let's get things done in a year, 2 years, and 4 years.
So as you meet your neighbors, do you get sort of an energy from that? Does that motivate you further, or does it make the list even more?
Well, all the energy, their frustration and anger and apathy towards politics, I feel that because that's the reason that I'm in public service. They want better, they feel like they're let down. I understand that. When people are excited about something new, that gives me energy because I also think we need something new. But I think what we all know is it can't just be about a candidate running. We have to do this together, and that can't just be something we talk about. No one politician at any level is going to fix all the problems, but if we actually get together and have a real conversation about our city and what we can do through politics and worry less about showmanship and more about the work, we can make a change. You're right, we do have some momentum. It's not enough, but it's proof that we've been getting together and working for the last couple of years, and we just got to, times it by 10.
So we first heard about you and wrote about you in our magazine through Live NF, which kind of wrote was more than just a hashtag. Can you talk about what kind of a game changer that was for the community to suddenly just kind of start being full of pride about Niagara Falls?
Well, it gave us at least a name to something that we all been thinking about. Like, no, we're here by choice. This is home, and we're not just cheerleading, but we're going to talk about what's positive in this community and what we want, and we're going to establish the type of vibe that we want. We're not just going to talk about the last 50 years and it used to be so great in 1960. I wasn't alive in 1960, and I can't answer to any of those issues. Weren't here when industry left, but we're here now, and it's not just about being positive, it's about being active, and that's what Live NF is about for us, of saying, this is our city, we're going to define it for the next 40 years, and we're not going to apologize for the fact that we love living here.
So something, when I saw your announcement for you were running, you said, we are running, and I remember shouting to my wife, like, do you hear this slogan? And I had not seen it before, and it blew my mind that no one had used it, and I think it's really energizing. And so how do you sort of invite the community to join in on your campaign, and then sort of help them to know that should you be elected, that they're not going to you'll be accessible?
The actions are going to speak loudest, because a couple of people were like, well, who came up with that slogan? It's not just a slogan. It kind of informs everything that we've done so far. The way that we prove it to people is saying, all right, and we had our first all-hands meeting last night. You have a role. Your ideas are important. You know your neighborhood better than I do. Be a part of this campaign. Evaluate what we're talking about. Make sure that it's not just a slogan. And give us ideas, and we'll run with them. Because it's not, that slogan and this approach also comes out of a frustration about what local, regional, state, national politics has become. It is either divisive or it's really glossed over with every commercial, whether it be positive or negative, looks the same. It doesn't feel authentic because it isn't. We shot that ourselves. We want it to be authentic. We want it to be about what our approach will be, and that we is what we're about.
Nice. I think within our audience, there's definitely people who've been maybe frustrated with what they've seen politics nationally, as well as locally, but national kind of floods our feeds and things like that. And they probably thought like, yeah, I can vote for somebody I like. They're probably going to lose. Maybe I won't vote. But a few of them thought, maybe I'll run. And could you kind of tell them like, how did you get to this decision that it's not just that you're going to organize the community, it's not just that you're going to write about it and things like that and trying to agitate the powers that be, but that you wanted to step into that? Like, you put your family in a spotlight. You need to ask for money from your friends and family to make this happen.
Which is the worst.
Yeah,
Which is the worst.
So how do you make that leap from there's so many things I can do from the outside to no, I'm going right in despite all the risks?
Well, it's something I've always wanted to do, but in the last couple months, I was at a couple really contentious council meetings, and it was people frustrated with each other. They were talking at each other, but not really saying anything to each other. And I remember thinking, now is the time for me to do this. You can always wait till the next time, but if you keep waiting, you're not going to do it. I felt strongly that right now was the time to say, I'm ready to do this. I think I'm the best choice for leadership. And what's happening around the country is part of that. You have people, especially in our generation, that, getting involved on social media isn't enough. A good comment or, a thread, it might make you feel better, but it's only about making you feel better. You've got to get involved and do it locally, because you can make a change in your local community immediately. And that change can reverberate through your region and hopefully the country. I'm hoping more people our age group, and it's not just age, they have a more progressive mindset, say, I'm not waiting, I'm going to do this. And I hope they do it in Western New York, because Western New York needs it. Niagara Falls certainly needs it, and the entire region needs it.
We are filming in Niagara Falls right now, and tell us about where we are. I'll shoot a pan to get a little bit more in here.
So this is the Niagara City Lofts. It was a vacant school building for 15 years. It was abandoned by the school district. People wanted it demolished. But the city and the community worked together with the developer and the state and renovated into a residential and commercial space, including this auditorium. So I look at this as an example of a change you can make locally, because if we didn't get involved, this place would have been demolished. It wouldn't be generating taxes. It serves as a 60,000 square foot example of you can change your neighborhood immediately. And that's why we love coming into it whenever we can, because it's proof that involvement equals results.
All right. Thank you very
cool.
much.
Thank you very much.